This summer, one man, one guts build. It's him. It's Gumntz from the hit Japanimation Berserk. It's Gumntz. One bridge, one root bridge, and one jar cannon in a world of jar cannons, and we're blowing them up. Mom, I threw up in the guest bedroom, the one that your sister sleeps in sometimes when she's fighting with her husband, the one that Aunt Marjorie sleeps in. Mom, I threw up in the guest room, the one that has the weird carpet. This summer. I can't. It's Invasions. Hey, it's Invasions. It's infomercial. It's Invasions. It's what you know. It's what you love. We're doing we're invading some real degenerates. Some real pieces of work. Like this guy. You already know what he's got. Radon armor, moon veil. I don't respect it. The guts build, the great sword. Don't try and hit that L2 with me. You brought a knife to a gunfight, young man. You brought a moon veil to a big ol' axe fight. And that's why you're not nothing. You ain't nothing. And that's just God's honest truth. Take a look at this Shakespearean drama unfolding before you. We got one character, we got another character. It's called situational awareness. You don't have it, son. You either have it or you don't. You either got that situational awareness or you don't. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. And cut ties with all the lies. Something. What? Situational awareness. You gotta think. Immovable object versus unstoppable force. Who will win? More degenerates. We got the blasphemous blade. He's wearing the Raging Wolf set. When did they let Looney Tunes school out? Huh? The state hospital called and they're worried about you. They want you to go home, back to the old Berkshire asylum. I don't know where we're going with this. Look at this command grab this guy hits on me. Incredible. I won the fight. No need to let that clip roll. I definitely won. How about this one? When was the last time you saw somebody hit that sword of Night and Flame? Not since a couple of patches ago. But this guy, he likes living in the past. Well, guess what? I like living in the backstabs. And I'm not going to explain it. I'm not going to explain it. Look at this. What the hell? What is that? I'll show it to you again. Slow motion. My man hits me with the Thanos snap from across the entire map, and now he's floating at me very aggressively. He is floating at me aggressively. And it's one of those things where it's like technically it's not illegal, but it is uncomfortable. And I wish I could call the police. But again, you look, what? Huh? What is that? It's infomercial versus his Wi-Fi. It's infomercial versus everyone else's Wi-Fi in the entire world. I like to blame other people for when this kind of stuff happens, but deep down in my dark and troubled heart, I know that it's really a problem with me and not a problem with other people. It's a problem with me. I stream on YouTube. Every Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We usually stream for a couple hours. We do invasions, you know, fun stuff like that. This guy, Shadow Wizard Money Gang, Mr. Shadow Wizard Money Gang, was in the chat and he wanted to duel. So if you drop by the streams, we can do that. Just give me a time and a place. Anytime, any place. You feeling lucky, punk? If you want to just hang out and duel, I'll do it. We'll do it live on stream. I'll record it. And if I lose, I'll edit it to make it look like I won. But this one I didn't have to edit because it was just a good fight. He's got like a level 150 Ghost Flame intelligence build or something like that. And it was fun. It was a good fight. Doing the Storm Stomp into the R1 and then the running R2 roll catch with the Duelist Great Axe. I'm in love. I'm in love, and I don't care who knows it. Because everybody and their mom loves using colossal weapons, and they have since patch 110. Because why wouldn't you? You know? You get hyper armor, you get damage reduction, you get poise. I mean, you get big damage. It's great. They're great weapons. And this one I like to use because you gotta work a little for it. You gotta farm it. They don't just hand it to you. They don't just hand you this stuff on a silver platter. Silver spoon, daddy's money, using the Ruin's great sword, using the blasphemous blade, using the bloodhound fang. I had to work. I had to work for this. This is a strength build. It's just a strength build. I'm going to turn it into a quality build and take it into the DLC when the DLC drops. And that's going to happen in about a month. So I've just been on stream getting some of these builds ready. There's like 3 builds that I want to get up into the like 130 to 150 range to do PvP in the DLC. And originally this video was going to be like some clickbait title about how like the DLC, nothing can fix this awful broken mess of PvP in Elden Ring, and the DLC won't save you. And like I kind of believe that, but also I don't know. Elden Ring PvP is weird. It's the only thing that I know. This is where I started doing PvP. And I love Elden Ring. I put like hundreds of hours into this game, doing my dumb little invasions. But it does have like significant issues. The invading experience has significant issues that I can't overlook. And I think a lot of that just boils down to the fact that Elden Ring is a very open game with a lot of player freedom. And you can only invade people when they are either doing co-op or if they have the Taunter's Tongue turned on. And that's different from how invasions worked in previous Souls games. That plus poise is just a mess in Elden Ring. Like, I get that they didn't want to do like Dark Souls 1 poise, where in that game if you had a certain amount of poise, if your enemy swung at you, you could just like walk around them and get a backstab. Like, it was basically just a free backstab if somebody swung a weapon at you. Because you could just poise through it and just kind of walk around it. But in Elden Ring, it's like we have poise as a stat, but it doesn't like do anything really. I mean, you need like 60 poise or something like that to get through one-handed R1 of like a straight sword. And most people aren't walking around with enough poise to like poise through that. So they're kind of just relying on hyper armor at this point, which is fine, but it means that pretty much everybody that you invade, at least one of the people is going to be using a colossal weapon. So they're using an ultra great sword, they're using a great axe or a club or something like that. They're power stancing, stuff like that. I mean, like this guy with the dual Giza wheels, you know? And it just kind of makes it makes the experience feel a little stale sometimes. Dare I say it? A little bit samey. I wish that people would try new things. But it also pushes invaders to use certain weapons as well and certain setups. Because at some point you're going to get sick of losing these fights. Like, it's not, most of the time it's not fun to lose. It can be sometimes. Like, if you lose in a funny way. I will always save those clips. I like to put them in the videos, like when that guy grabbed me when I was coming up off of the ladder. Like, that's funny. It's funny to lose that way, and like, getting genuinely outplayed by people can be an enjoyable experience, because it's like, you know, game recognized game. But just getting like backed into a corner and kind of stomped by people who are using the same weapons that you've seen over and over and over again isn't fun. But I also don't think that there's any amount of patches or updates or DLC that's necessarily going to change that about Elden Ring. I think the next game that From Software makes could have really, really great PvP. But it's not going to have incredible PvP if it's another open world, if it's like Elden Ring 2. If we get Elden Ring 2, like, I'll play the hell out of it. I'll put, 700 hours into it. I'll make a dozen builds, and I'll do invasions 24/7. But it's not going to be as good as it could be if they made a game that was smaller and more linear and had less player freedom. I think that actually is the key to making something that is, like, really, really good, both in single player and in PvP. I like that they pulled off an open world, and it didn't become like your standard AAA game open world that's just packed to the gills with nonsense, and it's bloated and it's boring. Like, they made an incredible open world game that is very different from most other open world games. And I applaud them for that. But I don't really want their next game to be an open world game, if that makes sense. I want them to go back to something that's a little bit smaller. And, I mean, they put out Armored Core 6 last year, and that was phenomenal. Not an open world game, like a very traditional Armored Core game. And I loved it. I played a ton of it. Put a bunch of hours into it. So I'm just hoping that that's, like, not the direction that they're going to go in for the next Souls game, whatever it is. And they're definitely making it. Whatever the next game is, they're cooking it up. Like, Elden Ring has been in development, or was in development, basically since Dark Souls 3 came out. So it had, like, a long development time. It was like 5 years or something like that they were working on this thing. So whatever's coming next, I guarantee you they're not just wrapping up Shadow of the Erdtree right now and kind of kicking back and being like, well, we'll figure out what we're doing next in a couple of months after it drops. Like, they're already probably a year or so into production of the next Souls game, whatever it is. And I'm dying to know what it is. And I think we're going to get some kind of idea, like, this year, maybe like at the end of the year, of what it is. And they haven't closed the door on the possibility of it being Elden Ring 2. I really hope that it's not. But I also get that, like, if I was like an executive, if I was like a money guy, if I was a bean counter at From Software, I would be telling them every single day, like, you have to make Elden Ring 2. Like, Elden Ring 1 just printed money for you guys, so you need to make the sequel. It doesn't matter what you want to make next, you have to make Elden Ring 2. And then once that makes us like $1 trillion, then you can go and do your little passion project or whatever. Like, that's probably what a lot of people are saying to From Software. And I'm hoping that they have enough clout as a studio that they can tell those guys to, like, take a hike. And I think they can, and so I'm hoping for something smaller and more linear with less freedom. But ironically, I actually think that that will end up being a better game for everybody. All right, thanks for watching.